Welcome to the deep dive. Now, if you're in procurement, you already know the game has changed when it comes to measurement. We've gone through a bunch of sources all focused on modernizing how we track performance. And our mission today really is to cut through that noise. How do we move past just reporting savings? How do we actually start measuring strategic value, resilience, supplier innovation, and yeah, the big one, ESG?
Yeah, and it's urgent because relying only on those traditional savings achieved metrics, it's often misleading, actively misleading sometimes. Take scenario one. You get the lowest unit price. Great, right? You book the saving. But, that supplier's delivery is terrible. Suddenly you're paying for delays, downtime, maybe even, $20,000 in expedited air freight last quarter just to keep things running.
Exactly. You booked a saving, but the total cost of ownership went through the roof.
Precisely.
The TCO example just nails it.
Yeah.
Measuring efficiency kind of in a vacuum, it almost always costs more in the end. And that's a core theme we saw everywhere. Procurement isn't just spend control. It's strategic now.
It absolutely is. The framework has shifted.
So our KPIs, our measurements, they have to reflect that new reality.
Right. So to measure success now, you really need a framework that looks across 5 key dimensions. We're talking efficiency, resilience, strategic alignment, innovation, and sustainable ESG. It's much broader than just efficiency.
Okay, 5 dimensions. Let's maybe unpack 2 that feel like the biggest shifts happening right now.
Sure.
How about we start with strategic alignment? We often track Maverick spend percentage, spending outside the approved channels. But the insight here, the really critical thing, is that high Maverick spend. It might not just be about people breaking rules.
Exactly right. Often it signals that the process itself is misaligned. It's not meeting the business's actual needs. You dig into the data and you find the process is just too slow or maybe too rigid for what people need to get done.
Like needing 14 approvals for a simple $500 buy.
Yeah, something like that. People will find a way around it just out of necessity. So the KPI isn't saying punish the user, it's saying fix the process.
Right, because that friction, that misalignment, it just adds cost and risk down the line.
Yeah.
Same as the unreliable supplier. Okay, so let's pivot to that 5th dimension, sustainability and ESG impact. This feels like it's gone from nice to have to core accountability.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking sustainable supplier percentage, Scope 3 carbon emissions.
And this is where measurement gets, really serious. You're seeing executive compensation increasingly tied to hitting these Scope 3 targets. And guess whose desk that data lands on? Procurement's.
Okay, but if we put so much focus on ESG, what about the pressure for, immediate cost savings? How do you balance those? Is that addressed?
It is, and the balance comes from being practical, especially at the start. Collecting fully verified Scope 3 data from every single supplier, that sounds incredibly complex, right?
Cost.
So for organizations just starting out with carbon accounting, the advice is clear. Begin with spend-based estimation methods.
Spend-based, so not chasing every supplier for reports.
Not initially. You use established, reliable industry averages for emissions based on your purchasing categories. It gives you a baseline quickly, it's practical, gets you started, and then you can prioritize where you need that deeper verified data later on.
Okay, that makes sense. Start broad, then focus. So, managing all this complexity, how does technology help turn these maybe static reports into actual dynamic intelligence?
Well, that's where predictive analytics really shines. Think early risk detection. Here's an example. An advanced analytics platform spots lead times creeping up, not just for one vendor, but several in the same region, maybe using similar inputs.
Okay, it sees a pattern.
Exactly. It's like a high-speed correlation engine. It flags this before it becomes a crisis. So procurement can step in, maybe renegotiate, find alternatives before any stockouts actually happen. That's turning data into action, protecting revenue.
So for you listening, the Procurement Pro, what's the bottom line here? Collecting data is, relatively easy now. Using it effectively. That seems to be the rare part. The most valuable KPI isn't just a number. It's the one that makes you ask, so what? And then take informed action.
Absolutely. And to build that kind of action-oriented system, the sources highlighted a couple of key principles. First, align your KPIs directly to what the business actually cares about: protecting revenue, reducing risk, enabling growth. And second, crucially, maintain focus. You don't need 50 KPIs. 5 to 7 key metrics are usually enough. Keep it focused.
Right. Avoid overwhelming everyone. Okay, final thought then. What does great look like in, say, 2025 for procurement measurement? Well, top performers aren't just using KPIs for a quarterly report. It's a continuous management system. They're dashboards, updated daily and data. integrated across risk, ESG, finance. They've turned KPIs from backward-looking reports into forward-looking decision engines. So the challenge for you isn't just measuring the past anymore, it's using that insight to anticipate and shape the future.